Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Hey. So listen, I'm coming to talk to you guys today because it is Wednesday. And so Wellness Wednesday, coming to do a quick video about, you know, some wellness stuff, right? Remember October is Health Literacy Month. And so we are talking about different stuff, some stuff that I wish I knew, just educational stuff and things of that nature. So um, we are just coming to, talk about a couple of things, right? And so this month, today, I wanted to come and talk to you guys about. So I have like different prompts that I'm supposed to be talking about with you guys throughout the month about different stuff, right? And so just to kind of give you guys like more information, like and hopefully within the information of sharing my journey or giving the actual education about something, giving you insight about something else, right? And so one of the prompts that I thought was really cool for this week and it was today was the nutrition advice I wish I had known 10 years ago. So with that being said, for those who are watching live, say hey, comment, like and give me some hearts and chat with me and communicate with me. Um, if you are watching live, if you're watching I'm looking at the comment moderation, like it's not said. So if you're watching replay, please put hashtag replay. If you're actually like wanting to share and feel like this information is relevant, then of course hit the share button, right? My name is Sequoia Ashe Taylor. I'm the CEO and founder of Ashe Wellness, and what I do is that I help stressed out women who are attempting to maintain balance, to establish and maintain healing habits so they can be healthy and happy. How do we do that? Is by distressing the mess through testing and not guessing. So I'm going to talk about all that little stuff, like how we help you establish and maintain stuff and get all that stuff together. But in general, that's what we do, right? We help you on your wellness journey to make it customized and individualized to you. And so the prompt was the nutrition advice I wish I had 10 years ago. So the topic is 5 things that I wish I knew, like in regards to my nutrition, making it personalized, right? Customized to me about my nutrition 10 years ago. So if that's 10 years, that's been a long time coming. So if this is 2020, that would be 2010, right? So at 2010, at this point, I had an almost 1 year old, Autumn. She would, at this, like literally to the day I'm going about it today, she would have been almost one. I was in nursing school, and yeah, that whole, told y'all, like it's a whole concept behind it. And so it's very interesting that it said 10 years ago, like the nutrition advice I wish I had 10 years ago, because 10 years ago I was in nursing school. They taught us about nutrition. We had courses and classes and things of that nature. And so at that same time, though, I was probably still going through that peak of being my highest weight at almost 300 pounds because I was moving around so much. It was time for clinicals and going to class and still attempting to work as a surgical tech at the hospital. And I was working night shifts. So, of course, my nutrition plan like was looking like, whoa. I didn't have any system. It was just like eat when you can, like get on the schedule, see your family, go to school, that whole hustle and bustle of doing all those things, right? And so I know it wasn't like the healthiest. I know I wasn't saying, oh, let me go and let's see if I'm gonna eat some kale chips. I was not on that plan 10 years ago, right? So this prompt, I like this prompt because it made me actually sit down and think about it. Like, where was I 10 years ago, and some of the things that I wish I knew, right? And so some is very interesting. Not only just looking at and doing reflections and being mindful of where I'm in the present, and just like doing reviews sometime. It was very interesting to see some of the things I thought about my nutrition that I thought like, oh, what? Why were you thinking that? So some of the nutrition advice, if I could tell 10 years ago, like that girl 10 years ago, about her nutrition, one of them is that, like, when you talk about nutrition, like, especially when we say that, most people know that nutrition is the things that you put in your body to give you nourishment, right? And so then automatically people talk about what you eat, and then they automatically jump and say, like your food, right? Your diet. And so the first thing is that I would not continue to use, like, I would have stopped using that word diet sooner. First of all, like, diet has the word die in it. Diet is, for me, is how I've grown to say that it's something temporary. It's nothing long term. You get on a diet because you want to do this certain thing to get a certain result, and then most of the time, like 98% of the time, the people do not stay on that diet forever. They don't keep it up, right? And then the weight goes up and down and all that kind of stuff. So first of all, that I would stop like kind of using, I would stop, using that word diet, and I would be more focused on what I should be doing long term, and that they're not the same for like they're not the same. All of them are not the same. Um, every program is not the same, and because there's so many different programs out there, like they're not the same. I was the person who would like for the most part, unless it's come up on the last like since I had to sleep in 13, like if it came after that, maybe not so much. But before that, every shake, lotion, potion, pill, wrap, cream, like herb, whatever. Like I was trying it up and down, yo-yoing, like trying this shake. I don't like that one. Try this shake, because I'm a person that can eat like the same thing every day. So I would try these different shakes. I would try these different programs. I would try these different meal plans. I would try this. And key word that I'm saying is trying, right? And we remove that word too, like you either do or you don't do. So one of the main things is that they're not all the same. I just looked across the board and said, oh, this is a diet. This is the new fad. This is what's going on. Like there should be across the board. It should be the same. And they're not. Every diet is not the same. Number 2 is that I realized was that what I learned in school about nutrition was not true. It was wrong. Like, it was wrong. Like even when we were in elementary school, like when we was a kid, we had the like my pyramid and it had like the food pyramid, right? You remember that? Like I don't know if I'm dating myself, but like some people like my generation a little bit older know about the pyramid, right? I think some of these younger kids, they know like my plate. And so I learned over time that just because it said it should have dairy, cheese, meat, vegetable, like that's not necessarily like what you should necessarily have on your plate. And that's the generic thing that the government has come up because of the whole, like we can talk about the whole propaganda behind that as to why they actually say that. But the way that they have that food pyramid is wrong. What I learned about nutrition and what should be on my plate every time was wrong. Like it wasn't right. And so if I knew that 10 years ago, and I had started kind of understanding that concept, that sometimes what they teach you in school or not, it's not, and it's not that it's like wrong, it's not right for everybody. And overall, it's not what you should be doing. Like people on average should not just be sitting here saying, I'm going to go do, the only way I can get calcium is through milk. And that is wrong. The only way I can get vitamin D is through milk. And so that's why I have to have milk on my plate. That is wrong, right? In my cup. Or I have to have cheese, or have to have, like, that is wrong, right? So number 3, what I wish I would have known back then that I know now is that the quality of our food is changing. Right? When you have GMO food, you have foods that they're modifying. They're like playing like and putting stuff together. And sometimes, like if you think about it, some of the foods that we eat, they're blends of other foods. Right? And so I've even seen where they like blended a banana and a kiwi together and did those type of things. And so outside of even that, they're blending to make different fruits. And I've heard bananas are blends of different things. I've heard about the kale and different greens and stuff. I'm like, yeah, we get on the kale. But there are different things that they blend together, and they also have like GMO foods. The quality of the ground, the dirt that we're growing food in is not the same quality anymore. You have foods that people are like we have seedless stuff. So like if it's seedless, then how did they grow it? Like and it was seedless cucumber, seedless watermelon, seedless cantaloupe, seedless this, seedless that, seedless grapes. Like if there's no seeds in it, then how did it grow? So all those things that we're looking at is like, okay, and the quality of our food is not. Back in the day where our great grandparents and grandparents and all that, when they used to eat greens, the nutrients in that actually, because and the quality of that was way better than it is now. That's just proven. It's because the quality of the soil, it's because pollution in the air, it's the quality of everything that's going on. The quality of our food is not the same. So those same requirements where they're saying you eat this many cups for this will give you this, sometimes you may have to supplement because the quality of our food is not the same, right? So number 4, I learned and just had to think about that my nutrition has seasons, right? And it kind of goes back to that point about, and not just my nutrition, I've seen this with people in my family and just like friends and been in this wellness journey with my clients, that your nutrition may have seasons. And so for people to subscribe and say that for the rest of your life you should be vegan, for the rest of your life you should eat this, for the rest of your life you should do this, for the rest of your life you should do this. Like there have been times when I've been like, I could do vegetarian. I've been at the point where I could actually, like I did raw vegan for a while. Like didn't even cook. Like I ate my food as raw, and I still do to the best of my ability. Eat food as raw. I'll go through spurts of time where I eat foods that are as raw as possible. Like If I get my kale, I'll eat raw kale. Like she's like, okay, she eats raw kale, pull a salt, a pepper, eat it, right? So I've had those phases, and so those labels of different things of, oh, being pescatarian. I've been at like being pescatarian before, right? And being vegetarian, where I like ortho, and where I was like, okay, I don't do any dairy, no cheese. The seasons of my life, as far as what my body needs, I've noticed that those change. And yes, we want to classify and say things about um that are by our actual, like, our diet, right? Most people do that. But I've learned on this lifestyle journey that the seasons of what I eat and what my body needs and different things will change. I'll just, like, for instance, as I was growing up as a kid, my mom didn't have problems with onions and shrimp and stuff like that. Now she gets older, she has problems with those. I never had problems with necessarily like eating onions and things that. But as I get older, I have problems with onions, and I know why, because I what I'm going to tell you about number five. But I've noticed that over time, my actual what I eat and how I eat and the way I prepare it is different. My taste buds, because I've done cleanses from rooter to the me sitting around and want to eat like salt and vinegar chips like I used to, like being the person that could drink a case of Pepsi, can after can after can after can right after school. Like that would, like, I could drink a Pepsi now. Like I told y'all when I was doing a tribute to my grandma, it like to burn my chest. Like I was like, what the world? Like I used to drink this stuff all the time. The taste is not even there, right? To drink soda, it's just not there. It's like now I'm like, soda what? Like who cares? Drink some water if you want something a little more stronger than that. Drink you some tea, like get you some herbal tea. So those things over time, as your life progresses, I've learned for me that my nutrition has changed with the, what I would like, what I need. It changes. I call it like saying seasons, but there'll be times where I'll go and be like, okay, I won't eat any meat, and we're kind of in that phase now where we're like, we're not really. We'll use like substitutes for different stuff, but I'm sure there'll be times maybe Thanksgiving I may do some corn chickens or something. I don't know. Well, so it's not that I don't. That's why I don't like those things of those labels, right? And then some people say, well, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'll say I do 80-20. I eat my foods as raw as possible, as the closest to the natural form as possible. Then the other 20%, I can do what I want to do. That's also why I don't believe in people saying they have cheat days. Oh, I cheated today. That's setting your mindset up to be like, oh, you did something that was wrong, right? And I don't have a cheat day. When I look at the average percent of what I'm eating, then I could go from there and balance my food out, because I know what foods I should be eating more of, should be eating less of, and things of that nature. And I've definitely explored that even more with me having the problems with the like gut inflammation and things of that nature. Because some stuff that I eat all the time, like cucumbers, on my scan, it told me not to. So I was like, y'all know I eat that every day, right? So that leads me into number five. Number five is find out I had to find one of the fifth thing that I had to find out is find out what works for me. Like I just said, for like the seasons are different things, but I had to find out what works for me. And how I did that is I start testing stuff and not guessing anymore, right? And that's why the number one reason why I preach that over and over and over and over. I have 3 different people that live in this household, and every person eats differently, right? There are certain things that I can scan for that Arya's like, I don't want to meat. But then she'll go sometime later, like, well, I had chicken at my grandma's house. I'm like, what? Like, so it's different. I had to find out what was best for me, and then I do that with the kids, and I check that often, because I want to make sure that there are any things, like we create food sensitivities, we could create food aversions too, because like I said, I eat the same thing over and over. If you notice, I haven't been posting that I have been having cucumbers and feta. I had to give myself a break, because it was like when I did my scan, don't eat as much of that. Like cut back on some of this stuff, eat more of this to support your system, because I'm creating it, right? I'm creating the food aversion. 10 years ago, you couldn't catch me talking about I was going to eat olives, I was going to eat mushrooms, I was going to eat onions, right? That would have been nowhere on the plan. But because it's telling me that, based on because of the testing I'm able to do and the scans I'm able to do, it's telling me these things are beneficial to me, and I know how I feel when I'm paying attention to that and actually doing what is my body is telling me to do. I feel so much better. My time of being fatigued or being sluggish and things of that nature, when I start feeling like that, I'm like, you're not doing something right. Hit that scan, let's go. Hit that test, let's go. Right? And so that's one of the major things that I've learned over like not having that stuff 10 years ago. It was like, oh, as a nurse, I'm going to be able to put it doing that. And I realized in that form of healthcare, and not knocking it, I was putting a band-aid on certain stuff. Oh, because you're low in iron, okay, now you should be eating liver. I'm like, I'm never going to eat liver. Like, what's the natural way that I can start getting increasing my iron, right? And that's why you see me eating a whole bunch of like the whole kale journey started, and the whole Brussels sprout journey started, and the whole spinach chips and all those type of things started, because I was like, what are other ways that I can get this same thing that I don't have to sit up here and eat liver? Because it was an automatic thing. They take, okay, that's what you can do to get iron, or take this big old horse pill that most people know if you take an iron pill, you don't like it. It will make your urine smell and stuff. So it was looking for those different alternatives and find out what was best for me. So, yeah, those are the things that I wish I knew back then. That as far as like the nutrition, it's very interesting to find out and to think about those things that I know now that I didn't know then. So that shows growth. That shows like getting more literacy. Like we said, this is Health Literacy Month. Finding out those things that are good for you and like making those changes. And this is to also let you know that you will change as well. Like I said, those seasons, you will change as you learn different things. That's the point of having someone who is your wellness coaches, your wellness practitioners out there, even your physicians, your doctors. As you pay attention to yourself, as you pay attention to your body, you will learn different things about stuff to try, like squash boats and all that kind of stuff. You would have caught me eating that stuff 10 years ago. The 10 years where it says do a 10-year look back. In 2010, you couldn't have paid me to say, I'm going to eat squash balls? I'm going to eat what type of pizza? I'm going to eat what this and this and this? Cauliflower? Cauliflower rice? All those different things I learned to eat to live, not live to eat. That would be the bonus thing I learned about my nutrition. The bonus number 6 is that I learned to live to eat, not eat to live. I don't eat anymore to say, and yes, I have cravings or want to taste this, and I'm like, oh, that's really good. I'm going to go, right? But I do things now because I know what to do and how to do it, that I eat food to live, to make sure that I'm established and my vitality is intact. I don't eat food just to be like, yeah, I'm just going to eat them chips just for that. I'm just going to eat some Oreos just for that. Doesn't happen. If I eat Oreos, if I eat chips or any kind, it's because I want to, and I'm just saying that's part of my 20%. But for the 80 to 90% of the time, I'm eating to live, to make sure that my body is getting it, because the average person walking around is deficient in minerals, vitamins, amino acids. That's one of the number one problems that people have. Like, okay, well, how can we start? Okay, you deficient, right? You got to stop being deficient in the things that your body needs. That's why stuff like sea moss and all that kind of stuff is becoming popular now, because it has 92 out of 102 minerals that you need. Right? And there's other ways to go ahead and go about doing that. And so that's why you see that fad coming on, because people are like, oh, okay, I notice how I feel different. You're deficient. And so that's why your body reacts a certain way. So now I've learned the key point that I should be doing with my food, that emotional eating, that stress eating. When I'm catching myself, that it's a quick check, because if not, it will continue to go on to that lifestyle that that the 10 years ago that we're talking about. My nutrition should help with my vitality, not just because I want to be doing something, not just because I want to put something in my mouth. All right, so that was a bonus. So recapping, number 1, these are 5 things that I learned about nutrition that I wish I would have known 10 years ago. Right, number 1 is that like your foods, your nutrition and things are not the same for everyone. Number 2, I learned what I learned in school about nutrition and food was wrong or not as accurate. Number 3, I learned that the quality of our food is changing often and is not the same. Number 4, I learned that my nutrition has seasons, like what I eat, the lifestyle that I live, it has seasons, and that it's not a diet. It's a lifestyle change. It's not something that I'm going to just be like, oh, let me do this for 12 weeks, or let me do this for 2 weeks, or let me do this shake, potion, pill only, right? My actual my nutrition has seasons, but that is a continual lifestyle. This is a journey. This is a continual lifestyle. And number 5, I found out that I found ways to work my nutrition to make it work for me, for my vitality, because I test my stuff now and find out what my body needs. And the bonus one, number 6, was that I eat to live, not live to eat. So wanted to come and talk to you guys real quick about that. That was one of the prompts that we did. I like this topic because it made me think about some things, especially within the last 10 years as far as my growth. And so the challenge for you is list some things below. Give us some comments on your feedback. What are some of the things that you know now about your nutrition, about your eating, about your lifestyle food, or what you call your diet, that you didn't know 10 years ago? How has that changed? What have you learned, or what would you like to learn, right? So I just want to come and share that with you guys. Remember, Ashe, I have the power to change and make things happen, and so do you. I look forward to talking to you again on our next topic. Have a great rest of your evening. Ashe.